Hey everyone, Delphi Group here with the Delphi Signal and the Delphi Room with a little weekly market report. We used to do these quite often every Tuesday night with our community, and we are reintroducing that again now. We will be posting these on our YouTube channel here, so please, subscribe, like, follow this channel as we are putting out a lot of content on here for everyone. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to forecast kind of where we think the indexes are going to go, which I'll get to in a minute. But we said this before. We are not just about a trading signal. The Delphi Signal is an amazing tool that we use and we get a lot of our trades from, but we really do our greatest work in our Discord channel that we call the Delphi Room. So if we go there now, just some things two things I want to highlight again, because we did talk about this on our weekly trading recap, but we are in our Delphi charts channel here that you can see, we are in right now. So what I want to highlight are two things. Number one, the amazing market balance call that we made several weeks ago that you can see here. We posted off of our cycle line, which is another tool that is an amazing tool. We've absolutely just done amazing with that cycle line. I've only had one losing instance on that over a 2.5 year span. So, but we were looking for a bounce. Now we're not going to say it's the bottom, because when we get to the charts, you'll see the monthly charts are still not looking good, but we were looking for a bounce here. You can see if I zoom in on that, when SPY was down here at 550, 551, 552. Okay, so we were looking for a bounce, and we sure did get that bounce. I think now the SPY is over 575. So that was, over a $25 bounce call that we made in this channel, which just is an amazing stuff. But, there was another call that we made here on the 19th on Tesla, which translated into us, killing it on a trade. We were looking for a bounce on Tesla down here. If I can get to it. Hey, it's coming up any minute. So here it is here. You can see here on the 19th, we posted this chart on Tesla saying, is it time for a W bottom on Tesla? Okay, that Tesla was trading at 235, let's call it. Okay, we absolutely nailed this call. It's been straight up since then, which again, we'll show you on our Thinkorswim charts. But today Tesla's well over, I think, 280. So we did take advantage of this in our community. We took calls that we just recently closed out for some monster gains. But again, this is what we do here. Nobody's doing what we do here. Our content is priceless, okay, especially in this Delphi charts channel. Okay, so if I go to Thinkorswim now, I'll get to Tesla in a minute, but you can see here, this is the SPY, okay? And what I have here on the SPY, and we're going to do this now again starting today, is you can see all these targets that are white were targets that we forecasted that eventually hit, okay? You can see here, we were looking for the market to go down. A couple days later, hit the target. Here again, hit the target. Target hit, target hit, target hit. This one did not. This one actually did hit, but as you're going to see, this one hit, many months later. This was back in August. So we don't take credit for that, okay? There are some people on social media that, if some of their targets hit months later, they take credit for that. We don't do that here. If it doesn't hit in a couple weeks or a month, we mark it up as a loser. But as you can see here, there are many white. There's another one that eventually hit, but we're not going to take credit for it. white, 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 white. Anyway, when you add all these up, it comes out to 23 correct forecasts and only 2 losing forecasts. Again, that eventually we're right, but we're not taking credit for that. So that's 23 and 2. Okay. On the IWM, we only had 1 losing forecast out of 23 or 24 winning. Okay. So you can see why this is very important and what we're doing here. Okay. This translates into our community. This now translates into you guys on YouTube. We had many traders trading just off our Tuesday night analysis call. So that's what we're doing here, and that's what we're going to do now, okay? So if I go in, look at the SPY closer up here on the daily chart now, here is the day we called the bottom, or not the bottom, but the bounce, okay? We can see SPY has gone up to over 575 now. So you can mark up that bounce call as a winner, okay? So what's going on now? Well, let me back out a little bit. I like to do this because you're getting towards the end of the month, but we told our community that we were looking for a bounce on the weekly chart. Things were looking bullish back here on these bullish candles, these hammers. Okay, we had a drop in volume, which is very important. Drop in volume on the way down is bullish. A CCI, which is our absolute favorite indicator below, was pivoting. We actually made this forecast here, that green forecast on the CCI. This was before the CCI had even pivoted higher. We made this forecast and we nailed that as well. So I'm going to remove that. And again, all our indicators are stochastic below, oversold and now going up. So everything on the weekly chart looks bullish, and it still looks bullish. This 575 level is a key level to watch that we closed over it today, which I think we could go higher, but you got to be careful longer term on the monthly chart. I'm not going to get to the monthly on all of these or the weekly because they're very similar. But look what we have here on the monthly. Now, this red candle was a lot worse a week or two ago. You can see where that candle was. Now it's bouncing, right? But regardless, on the monthly, now we have a couple of days left still, so we need to see what happens this next week. But right now, we have a bearish engulfing candle and a pivot. Okay, that's what we have right now, a bearish engulfing candle and a pivot on the monthly. So we'll need to see what happens here. Okay, at the end of the month, next week, I believe it's Monday or Tuesday. Last time we had a bearish engulfing candle set up like this, followed by a pivot, was right here. Okay, you can see that. And if you want to add the shooting star there, that's a shooting star as well. So very, very similar setup here, which you can see what happened after that. Okay, so you got to pay attention. The monthly charts trump all other charts, okay? So going back to the daily, let's make our forecast. You have to be careful here. The volume is dropping now. We have 5 straight green. That's a stale green light, okay? The CCI has crossed the 0 line, which means 2 to 4 more days higher. Whenever you see the CCI cross that 0 line, it could mean 2 to 4 more days in that direction. Okay? So not going to get crazy with a crazy forecast here because we are on a stretch of green. CCI crossing the 0 line is bullish. Stochastic is starting to look stretched. Okay, you get that rubber band effect down here. Okay, when you see the K and the D separate like that, kind of like what happened here, and especially what happened here. Okay, so couple things under the hood may mean this bounce may not have much more to go. Now, this is the 50-day moving average here. This is the 20-day. So the 50-day sits at 582. Okay. I am going to say, I don't know if we're going to get all the way up to that, but for now, I'm going to say we're going to go a little higher towards that 50-day. I had told our community that I was looking for 2 things to happen. I do think this gap will fill eventually. I said it's either going to fill from here or it's going to fill from up here. So we'll need to see what happens here. Again, 575 is a big level to watch on the SPY. Okay, so but anyway, that's the forecast on the SPY. If I go to the Qs, Qs are going to be same setup, same thing going on here. Again, we have a zero line cross on the CCI. Stochastic starting to look stretched. Volume starting to decline. So again, I'm going to go up a little bit, but nothing crazy. Okay. And this market that we're in is very news driven right now. Any kind of news throughout the charts. Okay. News trumps the charts. So you can have spot on analysis. If news comes out, it'll change that if it's going against you. Okay. But you have to watch the volume. We may get another day or two higher. Nothing crazy. But if the volume keeps dropping and we keep seeing green, that's going to make the reversal here much more likely. Okay, so we got to watch what's going on up here at the 50-day, roughly 500, 502 on the Qs. Okay, so that's the Qs. IWM. We have started a put position here on IWM. We may be early, we may not be, but unlike the other indexes we have here, that's a bearish Harami. Okay, bearish Haramis are bearish. So the volume is dropping now. Again, on the way up, we do have a red. CCI is hinging, and again, stochastic has the wide divergence. So this might be a little different of a forecast. I'm going to go lower here on the IWM. Okay, there is a gap here. We have resistance above. If the IWM follows the indexes, which it could, this whole area up here is going to be resistance. Okay, so, but because of the candle, and because of the CCI is slanting here, I'm going to go down on the IWM. I'm going to go down. Nothing crazy again. I think if the other indexes do reverse, I think you will see more speed to the downside here. Okay, on IWM. It's clearly the lagging index of the group. All right, so that's the forecast here. And let's just look at Tesla because, again, remember we made that W bottom call here. And you can see we have actually a forecast line. And, lo and behold, this W pattern has played out. Okay, so you can see we made that call back here, 235, and Tesla closed at 288. Okay, so we nailed that call. Our community nailed the calls, then the trades we put out on Tesla. We showed that on the weekly trading recap. Those calls actually cashed out even higher, which we'll go over on this week's trading recap. But again, look what's happening here. We have a hammer stretch a green volume drop. Okay, after the CCI crossed the zero line, we got that 2 to 4 days momentum. But look at the stochastic underneath. Okay, I would expect this area up here to be resistance, roughly 300. Anywhere from here to 300, you could see Tesla reverse, which is why we cashed out our calls for some really nice profits recently in our community. Okay, so just showing you guys what we're doing here at Delphi. Amazing work. Again, please like, subscribe, follow the channel. You can head to our website, which is posted below, for more information. We will be doing these every Tuesday for you guys, so hopefully you enjoy it. And let's see how our forecasts end up doing by next week. Thank you and have a good night.